moonshine whiskey ought to be a crime. When I start drinking, I'm bound to lose my mind. Oh, brother, down, getting me through hard times. Now what's that smoking?
So sometimes you go to sleep and you have a dream, and it's like an epiphany, and you wake up in the morning and it's a fully developed plan, and you know, kind of like Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump's plan for America, or Hillary. It's a fully formed plan. Donald's, I guess, involves a pretty big fence somewhere. But the plan I'm talking about is you wake up in the morning and you solve a problem. You solve the problem in your sleep. A problem that's been bugging me, and that is, how am I going to come up with a muffler for this Maytag, the 72D. So it's flat. There's no threaded fitting. There's nothing there. It's flat. So you got to come up with an adapter. So you got two. The style of muffler is not really all that important. What's important is the nipple size. Before I go on any further, and somebody gets upset with me, it's not actually my idea. It's 805 Road King's idea, and he had actually solved this problem a long time ago. You know, probably some other people had solved this problem a long time ago, but I picked it up from him, and I think he solved this problem way back in 1932, I think it was, and when he was just heading up to his 40th birthday, I think it was. Anyway, the problem was, what do you do about this flange surface? Actually, this is a 19... I guess he wouldn't have had this problem back in 32, because this is a 1946 engine, so he was obviously thinking well ahead in his years, kind of a Renaissance man, you know, what's that guy's name? It's not way into the whatever. Anyway, 3/4 inch nipple, see that, guys? MPT, half-inch nipple, MPT. How he solved it was, I'll stick a link in for you guys to click on. Go check out his channel. Tons and tons of great information, and you know, especially for guys like me who haven't been in this game for very long. You know, you can pick up lots of pointers and from a guy who, you know, he's just a guy having fun, enjoying what he's doing, and he's got a whole bunch of friends around him there too they really enjoy it, and they enjoy what they're doing. They don't take it crazy serious, and like I say, tons of great information. These are floor flanges. This is a half-inch floor flange. This is made in black. Well, it's black cast. Obviously, you can get them in galvanized. Black cast is preferable because, as you see, it matches everything else. So it would look about as stock as it needs to be. That's half-inch. That's 3/4 inch. You got a 3/4 inch NPT nipple. For instance, if you had to make up an adapter for a 3/4, you would go like so. You could theoretically, if all you had was 3/4 inch nippled mufflers, you could use that 3/4 floor flange and make the adapter plate up for that exhaust. Or you can just use something more to scale. This is a half-inch, like I say. I'll show you how to mock it up, or you can just go over to Road King's channel and he'll do a far better job of showing you. I'm just showing you because this is kind of a continuation on this the Maytag 72D series. I'm just adding it in there because this is, like I say, it's a problem that I'm facing. So anyway, you got the 3.5 inch muffler. This is a modern pancake style, and then that'll go like so. You can get mufflers with longer nipples, or you can get a nipple extension and go further out if you want to. But anyway, I'm just showing you this part. Yeah, we do. Next, what tools do you need? Well, you don't need a ton of specialized tools Matter of fact, I'll show you how you can do it with just the basic tools in most people's shops. So let me just flip you around off the camera, and I'll just kind of I'll show you around a little bit. A lot of you are going to have a grinder. This is a 6-inch bench grinder, 2.6 amp. If you can get a heavier amperage grinder, go ahead and get it. Don't get anything less than a 2.6 amp. That's at 160 hertz, 115 volt. Anything less is going to be really underpowered, and certainly don't go with larger tool attachments. Coarse stone, and the most used tool on this grinder for me is a wire brush, and I go through those quite often because I do a lot of wire brushing. You can be as aggressive or as light handed as you want with this. You know, you don't have to really dig into it. You can just have a light touch. Safety glasses, super important. I have a full wraparound pair in the shop here. I've obviously put them somewhere, but you can get them in a fairly large size. You can also get them like I wear them, and they have a, see that there? Reading glasses on the bottom. Yeah, you know, when you get in your 40s, reading glasses, super important. So, bench grinder. If you don't have a bench grinder, hey, it's no biggie. We just head on over here. Here's a big bunch of tools, and you can use any of these tools, a combination of these tools, a couple of these tools, whatever you figure. If you, let me see, okay, let's classify these. So, hacksaw, get yourself, if you're going to use a hacksaw, put a new blade in it. They're not expensive, just put a new blade in it. You won't be struggling and screaming and sweating. Just put a new blade in it, they're not expensive. That will be for cutting down the flange, and I'll just show you, how much material we're going to be taking off. But so hacksaw. You can also use a side grinder. I have that put away right now, and some other tools. You can use a drill with a high-speed setting. You can use a drill press with a cutoff blade. Buy yourself the arbor, and buy yourself some 3-inch discs. They're fairly thin, and you can use that as your cutoff. So you can use a hacksaw, you can use this, you can use this on your drill, you can use it on the drill press if you want to. That aside, to drill out your holes for your bolts, you can use, if you want a larger hole, you can go with a 3/8 bit, or you can go with a 5/16. So your 5/16, 3/8. I would stick with a smaller size and then just enlarge your hole. I'll show you why in a little bit. Go with some hardened, high-speed steel bits. These are Milwaukee bits, and they are crap. Don't buy these. Do not buy Milwaukee hardened steel bits, or bits that they sell for using to drill out stainless, because they're super brittle. When you want a hardened high-speed steel bit, yeah, you want them to be hard, but you don't want them overly brittle, because you'll snap them off every time in a hole, or if you cock them sideways a bit. What you need to do is, if you're serious about investing in the tooling, go out and buy yourself some Walter bits, specifically the Walter bits for stainless steel. They have a couple different versions, but they're not cheap. Each Walter bit that I buy for whatever size I use is between $6 and $8 per bit. So, but you can drill a lot of holes in stainless, and they don't snap off, and you don't have to be worrying about grinding and grinding those bits or that hole that you broke it off in. Anyway, enough of a rant on that. You can also, if you're not going to use bits, you could use a step bit. For you, those of you of another faith, it sort of looks like a dreidel. What other kind of religious comparison could I? Anyway, yeah, it's a step bit. Different versions of step bits, but you can use this size. What size is that? It generally has a something to something size, and there it's going to be stamped. And you're right, I can't read it, and you guys can't read it either. But anyway, something that'll work all the way up to a 3/8 anyway would be handy, or larger, like 1/2 inch. You can use, to hog out that hole, you can use a deburring tool. This is a helical kind of cone shaped deburring tool. I use these a lot. Again, you can use it on your drill. You can also use it on your drill press. Same thing. What else? For finishing up, or even again for making that hole larger, I use a rat tail file. There you go. There's a selection of files here that I might use today. Bastard files, flat files, any of those, any combination of those. Buy yourself some good files if you don't have them, and buy yourself lots of them. Buy lots of variations and shapes and sizes, because they're always really handy. Don't forget your marker. Anyway, so that's a breakdown of some tools I'm going to use today. You can use a huge variety of cutoffs and metal bandsaws, and you can, but you don't really need to be tooled up that way, or you don't need to be tooled up with the most expensive stuff either. So anyway, let's get started. I did leave one thing out. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the incredible importance that having a good stiff drink, how incredibly important that is to the whole creative process. It's not for all of you, I get it, but you know what? For me, I do far better work when the liquor starts calling the shots. I just step back, just put the whole project on booze control, and just let it flow. All right, guys. So start with your 1/2 inch floor flange. These things are not super expensive. This one cost me just a couple bucks at the plumbing supply. You can often get them. You go to auctions, yard sales. You pick them up in a big batch of hardware, or whatever. You get a whole pail of things for like $5. But unfortunately, I'm not going to an auction sale today, and there's no yard sales yet. It's kind of cold here still. So a couple bucks, basically, and a little bit of your own sweat equity gets you an adapter. So anyway, as you can see, the holes don't quite match up, and that's what I was talking about earlier. We're going to have to kind of hog those out a little bit. Anyway, so you're going to take that and clamp it to your manifold, and you're going to take your marker and just trace around the outside, and that'll give us our profile, and we'll go from there. All right, put that traced out. See what we got. There you go. I didn't finish it up, but I can guess pretty good. All right, let's start the cutting. I didn't also mention that a good solid vise is handy as well. But I did mention about a new blade, so don't blame me. See how that cuts? New blade, just like butter. Total time, about 3 minutes, maybe 4. But the more material you take off at the beginning is the less material you have to file off later on. So, take off the majority at the beginning, and then it's your job gets a bit easier. I'll start and do a little bit for you with the file just to show you. How's that for squeaking? coarse file. There you go. Here's a little coarser file. You get a nice finish. You just work it a little bit. Kind of bevel your edges a touch if you like, just a little bit. And you'll have a nice finish. I'll finish it up in the grinder. Glasses first. Don't even start your unit without putting your glasses on. If you like, you can wear protective gloves. The grinder does make fast work of it though. Alright, so the next part is to make the holes a little larger and elongate them a bit for the bolts. Again, glasses. Where are your glasses? This is going to be a lot of just test fitting. Start with your hole, start elongating it. Like you can use the bit and just elongate it a little bit if you want. Again, various other methods that I've already described, with the step bit or the deburring tool. But essentially it's going to be, drill it out, fit it up to your machine, and just keep test fitting until it's a perfect fit. So. All right, so once you've made those, oblonged out those holes, you end up with an adapter plate like so. You can make yourself a gasket if you like, so it doesn't bark out of there, but really it's not going to make a huge difference. But, it's not difficult to make up a gasket. And you put yourself some lock washers on there if you want to. There you go. It can be loose. Doesn't have to be super tight. It's not a big deal. Your flat mounting surface is around the flange, the threaded part of the flange, and not out here. But like I say, make yourself a gasket if you want. Have it loose so you've got play for your bolts. You can paint it if you want to. I'll leave this one like it is because it actually matches the color of the rest of the cast. So anyway, guys, and then you stick your muffler on there. That's it. Don't leave it like that. It doesn't work very well. Anyway, that's it, tubers. Have a good night.